YouTuber Showdown! So, we got Heel versus Babyface versus Nerdrotic or Az versus Gary. So,
Wow.
Punkwaddle, you can start us off as to who you think would win.
Alrighty. Well, it's a throwdown of the real BBC. We're gonna have
Or half of it now.
as talking his hot toys, and then you got Prison Gary too. So I think as much as I like Az, I think he's just big and lovable. But I think Gary, no matter what, is gonna go into protection mode. The light is gonna go change in his eyes, and Az just. I think they're friends though, so I feel like it would be like I don't want to hurt you, but I'm gonna end it now. And I think Az would be like, okay, make it honorable death moment, but Az would go down.
So first off, you have to, for these two to fight, you've got to cross an ocean. So there has to be a lot of anger that happens between these two for this kind of fight to happen. And there's nothing like besties that have a falling out for you to really get into it. So let's say that Gary finally says that he loves Batwoman, and as saying, that's what starts the fight, right? So first off, they get in together, they're in the same place, say they meet in the middle, this fight's happening in Iceland, all right? What do you have? You have Heels versus Babyface, who can scream and yell and rant. And you've got Gary, who, number one, owned a comic shop for 10 years, number two, did spend some time in prison and isn't afraid to cut a bitch. After they bag and board for approximately 12 and a half hours, Gary will just reach out, backhand him like it was Will Smith, and Az down. Period.
Okay. So, Gary lays out the slap. There's no thanks in this one. It's just a slap. Okay. Mark D with a C. What do you got?
All right. Well, both big guys there, good friends. So yeah. So say if they, that was a good point, team. If Gary says he likes Batwoman, what would happen? I don't know. I think Gary's got the street smarts, and I think he's surviving prison. I don't know. I love Az, love Gary, but I think Gary would have the, just have the wherewithal to survive. Plus, not that I'm exactly a small guy either, but I think Az would not have the stamina to take on Gary. Plus, Gary's got all those action figures, right? Az has got the hot toys, but Gary's just got the quantity, right? So if you got that humongous smaller guys with all that army of action figures after him or to help him, right? So I think Gary would take it at the end. Plus, I think he's in better shape. So yeah, if it was a one-on-one, I think if Az didn't get that quick blow in, I think Gary would be able to survive.
Okay. So your vote is so far for Gary.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Does Nick change the battle dynamics with what he thinks would happen?
I'm gonna go for the clean sweep. Obviously, Gary. Besides doing time in prison, Az spent a lot of time being on the couch, being originally a YouTube gamer. So Gary's always having to be on that active role of being active, not just as working out, but also being dad, and also and being a YouTuber. So, and of course he has to own a comic shop as well. So I meant to say Gary has this round clean sweep, and no disrespect to Az is granted he's a god level ranter, and that's probably the one thing that he has on Gary is his god level rants. But this is gonna be that one thing where Gary kind of he does everything else.
Let's not forget, Gary threw a Spider-Man head and broke his monitor in a fit of rage.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's so true.
You do not want to cross him.
Anger issues.
Don't make him angry. Don't make him angry.
Color changes in his eyes. Yeah.
Okay, so kids, this is your chance to give your final vote. So we'll start with Punkwaddle. You just say the name, and then we will figure out who the obvious winner is. And Punkwaddle, go.
Gary from Nerdrotic.
It's Gary all the way.
Gary.
Nick, your vote doesn't matter, but
Nerdrotic.
Nerdrotic. So, Gary, congratulations on your. If this works. Did it work?
Sure.
We heard it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Well, we heard it.
We heard
Okay.
something. No video. We heard.
You heard
we
the kids?
screen.
You heard the
We
kids?
The kids. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Because I did not. So something screwed up on my end, but doesn't matter. If you heard it, that's what matters. And what you heard was the victory of Gary.